Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you do, please subscribe. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. It is episode 548. How is everybody today? Today's topic is all about saying yes. Saying yes. You guys all know that over a year ago, I was reaching out to this friend I didn't even know. I was on my hunt for Jim Wahlberg and couldn't find Jim Wahlberg, but met Ann Vucek. And on the phone call with Ann Vucek, which I literally was reaching out to her because I just heard Jim Wahlberg's story of getting sober. And it was so unbelievably amazing that I was like, I need to get him on my show. I still haven't had him on my show. So if you know Jim Wahlberg, help me, because I still want to have him on my show because he truly is a precipice. And so is Hallow. I'm going to give credit to Hallow for having that amazing app that it has. And so so when Ann said to me, hey, I don't know Jim Wahlberg, but we're going on a trip to Medjugorje. Do you want to come? My first answer was, let me think about it. And in hindsight, I never, ever, ever say, let me think about it. I am like a go at 5,000 miles an hour. And then I stop and go, oh my God, what did I just do? And what did I just say? And how did I get myself in here? And to think that this was the first time that I said, I'm going to think about it. So what did I do? I went home and I thought about it. And I prayed over it and I went to sleep and I made I made one phone call and talked to my husband. And I said, what do you think? I was just invited to go to Medjugorje. Should I go? And he goes, why not? So many of us can sit here and say, why not? Why not? Why not do this? Why not do that? Why not? Fear, right? It's all fear. Fear that something could happen, that something out of your control could happen. We don't ever think, oh my gosh, I'm going to say yes, and all these things are going to open up later on. No, it's fear from when we were even kids. Fear that, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to you? What if you don't dress this way? What if you don't say this or say that? Everything's going to be wrong. Everything's going to not work out the way you want it to. I'm having like this technical issue with the mic right now, just to let you guys know. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see me. I'm like playing with this. But anyway, I then said yes. And because I said yes, I have a friend arriving today from Australia. Yes, my friend Daniel. I'm actually going to have him on the show. It's not going to air for a couple weeks, but I'm having him on the show. And he said, I'm coming over from Australia. I want to meet more people that are Catholic. I've never been to America. And here he's coming. He's landing in a couple hours. I'm going to go pick him up. It's going to be so much fun. He's staying at my house. And I think to myself, oh my gosh, if I hadn't said yes, I wouldn't have all these new friends. I wouldn't have found God again. I wouldn't have found the Blessed Mother and the relationship I have today. It's all because I went to faith instead of fear. I didn't go down that dirty, dark spiral, we'll just call it the toilet bowl, and say, oh my gosh, this could happen, that could happen. I'm going all by myself. Well, I actually convinced my friend Holly Carney to meet me, which she did. But I'd never met Holly in real life. It wasn't like a friend I'd had for 100 years or a family member that I'd known since I was a kid. It was actually a brand new friend. And I said, do you want to come? And she said, all right, I'll come with you. And she met me in Miami. But literally prior to that, there were so many reasons if I were living in fear that I wouldn't have gone. I would have said, forget it. This could happen. That could happen. I'm going to get to Rome. How am I going to make my connection? How do I know how to do this? Oh my gosh, I'm staying in Croatia, Split, Croatia. Never even heard of it. I made a hotel reservation. I don't know what this hotel's like. How am I going to get from the airport to the hotel? All those are just a couple of minuscule things that one thinks about when making decisions, right? We all go to what is the bad thing that's going to happen. We never go first thing to what is the amazing things that could happen on this journey. What is this going to be like? If we don't give ourselves the opportunity to say, yeah, I'm going to try this, we're the ones that aren't going to make out. Because all we're going to do is stay in these four walls of your home or wherever you're living, in an apartment, a condo, whatever it is. The four walls, exterior walls, we're not going to leave those. Because guess what? The fear. What are other people going to think? What could happen to me? What if I'm scared? What if you go and you say, you know what? I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to do this. It's something I want to do. Nobody's going with me, just me. And I'm going to go walk and I'm going to go meet these people that I'd never met in my life. And I'm going to do it, even though I'm scared. Doing it in spite of fear and saying, you know what? I'm going to have faith today. I'm going to get up today and I'm going to trust God that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to. I'm going to let go. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to let go. You know, life is interesting, right? It's so interesting. You know, when I thought when I was drinking that it was like I had so much freedom. I could do whatever I wanted to do. I could go drink, especially when I bought my house, which, by the way, less than 3 months later, I was sober. But I could walk everywhere, and this is going to give me such freedom. I'm not going to have to worry about driving and drinking and driving, and I'm not going to have to worry about how I'm going to get into the city because, I can get on the train. I was literally living in my own private little jail in my head, right? If I didn't have a drink or if I didn't have a way of getting a drink, how was I going to be okay? I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to have all these feelings, and these feelings are going to take over, and they're going to be uncomfortable, and I'm going to have to be me in my skin, and I'm going to have to feel all those feelings of my past, and I'm going to have all that shame, remorse, sadness, bitterness, all of it's going to come rushing back like a flood. And the reality is that power of saying yes. When that first person asked me to go to a 12-step meeting, I was able to say, okay, yes, I'll try it. Scary, 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 scary. Walking into a 12-step room and going, hi. I mean, like I've seen like 12-step meetings on TV, but I've never really been to one. And what will people think? I always have thought that's so funny. What are people going to think? They're in the room too, by the way. They're already in the room raising their hand saying, hi, I'm an alcoholic. I'm here for help. And then you're going to walk in and you're going to say that. And you're going to be like, oh, what are they going to think of me? They're not going to like me anymore. Oh, let me tell you, they're going to love you. That's the biggest lie, is that we think nobody's going to like us. And the fact is we walk away with so many more friends than we ever had and so much to do. And life is like, there's no time. It's all fleeting. It's all fleeting. It's all fleeting because you have so much to do and so much you want to see and so much you feel like you missed. So when you walk down this road and you get somebody to hold your hand, it makes it easier to say yes. So in the beginning, it's a little tough to take these adventures, but I've always been an adventurer because I want to see so much, right? I don't want to just see America. I want to see other places. I mean, this summer, we're going in a couple weeks to Spain. I've never been to Spain. It's going to be amazing. I've never been to Lake Como. Going to do that. I've never been to Umbria, Italy. Going to go do that. I've been to Rome. I'm going back to Rome. Totally excited. But you know what? I said yes. Instead of just going and getting an airplane and going, all right, I'm just going to go to this one thing and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to come home. I'm going to be with the people that I know and I'm going to be with the people that I want to hang out with, but I'm not going to be with any strangers. No. I always want to go see people that are different. I always do. Because this is the deal. My brain is little. it only can think of like a couple things, right? We can only think of like maybe A, B, C, D, maybe E and F, maybe even G of outcomes, right? But God is infinite. So if we are able to say yes and trust, it talks about this in the Bible all the time. Trust me, I've got you. But none of us want to believe that. We're like, no, no, no. It's like being the kid again in the schoolyard, falling backwards and praying somebody picks you up. How many times, if you were to think in your life, would something happen that you were scared of and it all worked out? In your mind, it wasn't going to. In your mind, it was going to be something really, really bad. But in reality, it turned out to be amazing. How many times has that happened to you? Or something you've thought about, or someone you've thought about. You've been thinking about someone, and all of a sudden you get a phone call from them. What is that? Is that a God wink? Or is that just a coincidence? If we see in our lives how many times and how many places that God has worked and where faith has actually been something you wish you had spent more time in, it was faith that it was going to work out rather than the time you spent in that fear place, that darkness. How many times have you said, oh my gosh, I don't want to live like that again. I don't want to live like that. Why do we overanalyze or delay decisions? Why do we ponder so much? How many opportunities have you missed because of fear or waiting till it's the perfect time? You have all the money you need for the rest of your life. You can go on this trip now. You're retired or you have enough money in the bank. You aren't going to have to worry anymore. And you can just go finally take this trip that you've been dying to take. When we overthink, we're actually messing with divine intervention. Have you ever thought about that? Like it's God's plan. You get invited to go on this trip with your friends. You know, you have like a little money set aside for, God forbid, something really terrible happens. And you're like, but I got invited on this trip that's unbelievable to somewhere I've been wanting to go my entire life. And I don't go because I'm overthinking. I'm overanalyzing. I'm waiting because it doesn't seem perfect because I don't actually have double the amount of money in the bank account. What if something happens? What am I going to do? But what would you do if you never got the opportunity to go where you want to go? This dream place, this bucket list. What if that were to happen? Which would be scarier to you, do you think? Like literally being on your deathbed going, I wish I'd gone here. I wish I'd gone there. I wish I'd gone there. I wish I'd gone there. I had an opportunity to go here. Oh, had an opportunity to go here and I didn't go. Why? Because I was scared. I didn't think I'd make it financially. And you think about it, and then you go and you look at airline tickets. And I have to tell you, I don't know, last minute or whatever it was like my plane ticket was like $500 to go nonstop from Miami to Rome on ITA, which is an Italian airline. And I booked the ticket. And then once you get into Europe, plane tickets are a lot cheaper than they are here in the United States to go from state to state. From country to country, it's very inexpensive, or you can take the train. So many other options than we do in the United States. And by the way, I'm not putting down the United States by any stretch of imagination. I love living here, and I'm going to segue into that in a second. But when we go and we want to see these things, and we have this in our minds, in our hearts, in our souls, that we really want to take this trip, or we really want to do something, and we spend too much time overthinking it, and we spend too much time talking ourselves out of it, and we spend too much time going, this doesn't look right, and this doesn't look right. What if you just said yes? Say, yes, I'm going to do that. What if the travel is you want to see is here in the United States? What if it's here? talking to my friend Daniel. He's been in the United States for 2 weeks. He's been to Dallas. Now he's going to tell you this himself too, but I'm going to tell you right now. He's been to Dallas. He flew into Dallas. Then he went from Dallas to Nashville, Nashville to Utah, Utah to Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C. to Richmond, Virginia, to Charleston, South Carolina, to Tampa, Florida, now to Delray Beach, Florida. So he's gone, I think 8 places. I don't know. I didn't count them, but I know that he has gone all over this country. And he said to me, "Oh my God, your country is absolutely beautiful. It's so diverse everywhere." I said, "Yes, it is." How many of us have never even left your state? Or if you're in a state bordering the ocean, you go over there, but you don't get in your car and you don't travel to, let's say, 2 states west or 2 states north or 2 states south or 2 states east. You don't take the time because you're like, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too much. I can't do it." I can tell you that I waited until I was 55 years old to actually see the Grand Canyon. Can you believe that? 55. I'd never seen the Grand Canyon. And I went with my husband and my daughter, and it was absolutely amazing. And I called my daughter, and her first reaction was, "I don't know, Mom." And I'm like, come on, come meet us, come meet us. And finally she said yes. And there we saw this part of the country I'd never seen, she had never seen. It was like northern New Mexico, Colorado, over to the Four Corners, Arizona. Oh my gosh, amazing. The people, amazing. Native Americans that are so absolutely amazing and so fun to talk to. Like, it's so fun to talk to in people in the United States that you've never met before. Cause you're like, "Oh my gosh, this person's so cool. Oh my gosh, that is so cool." And you get to see things that you never saw. Cause right here in your neighborhood, you've probably seen a lot. I know in the state of Florida, I haven't seen a lot at all compared to what other people have probably seen. Let's just face it. I haven't been to the Springs. I haven't done this. I haven't gone to Anna Maria, Florida, which is like the number 1 Catholic city in the country, in the United States. I haven't been there. I need to go there. So we all have these places that we want to go to, but we don't do it because of fear. So walk through that fear. What do you trust in your life? What do you rely on? Is it a number in your bank account? Is it a friend? Is it a spouse? Is it a child? What do you go to that gives you a sense of safety? See, because I think, and maybe I'm wrong or right here, but I think that the reality is that God has always had a plan. My plans never really always work out. I mean, let's face it, my Mother's Day was, okay. I already talked about it on Monday with my husband. I don't want to get into it again today. But knowing that I spent 18 years and it was going to look like this, I would never have told you. How grateful am I that my husband said, "Yes, we can stay in Florida. We don't have to go back." I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." I know not everybody has a husband that can change their job, or you can change your job because you have a job that you have to go to. But knowing that if you have faith, that you can trust God and you can trust that everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. There's people that, you know, God has a plan with everything, the timing of everything. Little kids roll with most things, right? They're just young and they're like, "Okay, sure, I'll go do that. Oh, sure, I'll go make a new friend. Oh, sure." Unless we've like scared them and thought that, "Oh my God, how are they going to be okay?" Instead of going to them, "You got this. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I'm going to drop you off at nursery school and you're going to make new friends. Then I'm going to drop you off from kindergarten and then you're going to go make new friends." And they trust you that everything's going to work out there. They might come home and say Sally or Joey was not really nice to them. But in the end of the day, they're going to come home and they're going to say it was a great experience. I learned a lot. I saw a lot that I never seen before. Because if we just kept them in our houses, which I understand people do homeschool, and I'm not saying anything bad about that at all. I think it's great if you can do it, if you're able to. I could never have done it. And for the moms that can, I think it's amazing. But when we trust and we walk where God wants us to walk, everything feels perfect. It clicks all the way down. Click, 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 click. It's like a gate when you watch it. Or for me, when I watch drawbridges, they come down and they fit perfectly. And when that happens, things feel right. We get to stay in the divine plan, not in our plan, in the divine plan. We don't have to be scared, right? If we go to faith and if we remember in our heads, okay, I remember I fell backward when I was 5th grade and somebody caught me. I got to have faith like that, blind faith that everything's going to work out. It takes time. It takes time and it takes practice. It takes walking out that front door and doing something differently. It can be something so minute as walking out the door, getting in your car and going left instead of right. That's big. That might be your first step to going, all right, I'm going to trust. This feels a little weird. I'm not going by my friend's house. I'm not going by that grocery store. I'm not going by the same things I normally go by. I'm going to go by things that I've never seen before. I might even go out of my way to go by a park or a street that I really love that's got trees lined on it. And right now everything's budding and flowers are everywhere. And it's so beautiful to drive down that road. And I might leave 5 minutes early so I can just go drive down that street and feel idyllic for the moment and just trust that everything's going to be okay. Because look at these trees that have been standing here are blooming again. They did this last May and now they're doing it this May. That's blind faith, right? We know that if we go down that road, unless God forbid somebody's crashed into the tree or it's gotten really old and it's fallen over, we're not going to go down there because that sounds really dark and yucky. And I don't like to go down those roads. So let's pretend like everything is going to be like that tree-lined street you love in your town. There's a street you love. There's a street here in Boynton Beach called Golf. And you drive down Golf Road. It's just west of Congress, I think, or Military, one of those. I know it's west of both of those. And you drive down, I think it's west of both of those. I'm not perfect with all the roads here yet. But anyway, you drive down Golf and you head west. And it's by all these country club entrances. But on that street are all these trees that like it's a canopy. And it's beautiful. Do you have a street like that? Is there a place you go that every year looks a certain way? I know when I was raising my kids and I lived right next to Valley Forge Park, I would go to Valley Forge Park and all the wildflowers would be out at a certain time each year. It was like clockwork. Look at that. That's Mother Nature. She's doing it for you. She's showing you where to trust her. God's in that same category, you guys. God has you. We just sometimes forget. And the craziest thing is my friend who's coming today. He said, I'm going to come from Australia to America. I've never been to America. I'm going to get on a plane by myself. I'm just going to walk. I'm going to take new opportunities. I'm going to see new things. I'm going to be willing to say yes. If somebody says, do you want to go to Nashville? I guess he just said yes. We're going to hear about this again when he comes on the show. And somebody said, do you want to go to Utah? He said yes. He's been willing to say yes. And because of that, I can't wait to hear his stories once he gets here. We've just been texting, so I haven't even really talked to him. But to hear his stories of saying yes and what that has opened along his path. If he was too scared, he wouldn't have left Australia. He wouldn't have gotten on a plane and headed to Dallas and said, I want to go meet more people that are Catholic. I want to go meet more like-minded people. So if that means that I have to get in a plane and fly thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away, time zones completely different. In fact, it's almost winter in Australia, and he's coming here where we're almost in summer, right? We're at the peak of summer. We're in spring. There, it's fall. And he got in a plane all by himself in his 20s and came here. Living in faith instead of fear is so much richer. It is so much more free. I don't even know if that made sense. It's freer. That's all I'm trying to say. If we are open and willing to walk, even though our head could say, oh, don't do this. It looks really scary. going, okay, I know it's scary, but I got this. I got God on my side. You know, I wear these necklaces. As you can see, this one's got a bunch of charms from CB Jewelry. I absolutely love it. It has a cross. It has a Bible. No, it doesn't have a Bible. I have another one that has a Bible, but I can't even see it. But you can see all the different charms. I picked them out. And then I have this medal a gentleman gave me on my trip to Medjugorje. It had been to Fatima. It had been to Guadalupe. It had been to Medjugorje and blessed by the Blessed Mother. And I have to tell you, I carried this with me everywhere. That gives me faith. Carrying that, just wearing this around my neck gives me faith. My rosary gives me faith. When I'm feeling scared, I have a rosary in all my cars. I have a rosary in my purse. I sleep with this rosary at night, and it gives me a sense of like, I'm not alone. The Blessed Mother's with me. I don't have to be scared. Some of us need to use tools and little things like a medal or like your rosary. What brings you peace that you know it can help you to get to this place where you're willing to say yes, even though it's really uncomfortable? What is in, oh my gosh, there's that commercial. What is in your wallet? What is in your purse or in your hand or something that you can put in your pocket and carry with you that if you get that sense of fear, you can reach over and go, it's going to be okay. I know this feeling is going to pass. It's not real. It's just here for a second. What do you have in your toolbox or in your jewelry box or in your home that you can pick up and carry in your hand and just put it down? I'll tell you this. Last year, I told you guys I had some rosaries. I just got more from Medjugorje that were blessed by the Blessed Mother. For the first, I'm going to say, well, let's just do one right now. For the first person who reaches out to me and requests a rosary, I will mail it to you. No questions asked. I will send you a rosary from Medjugorje. If that will help you on your adventure, I will put it in the mail right after you write me. So please do this. If you're hearing this between the 29th and the 20th of June, 29th of May and the 20th of June, I can have somebody else send it to you. It won't be me, but I can have my friend send it to you. But just know that if you reach out to me, I will send you a rosary that has been blessed by the Blessed Mother in Medjugorje that will help you get to the place where you can say yes and you don't have to say no. You know, you guys, life is good. We don't always need a blueprint. We don't. Reflect on something and think about something that you've been really wanting to do. And maybe it's even this summer. You've been offered to do something and you've been overthinking it and you've been waiting for a sign to say yes and trust and go. What's stopping you? I'm here to encourage you to say yes. I'm here to say yes, help you say yes, even though it might not feel comfortable. Take a deep breath and think, can I do this? I can do this. I can do this. It feels uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know God has me. I know that I've done things in the past that I didn't want to do that much, and I did it anyway. But this is something I really want to do. And it's important that I say yes, because if I don't say yes, I'll be left with, oh, why didn't I say yes? And I'll be left with regret and wondering what could have been, rather than saying I did it, coming back and saying I had such a great time, or coming back and saying it was okay, it wasn't that great, but I'm looking forward to my next one because this is the place I really want to go. And doing that, because I'm going to tell you this, as a mom, giving your kids the example that you are willing to do things and say yes to things is such an encouragement for them and such a life lesson, because they know you're scared. They've heard you say you're scared so many times. But you know what? They've seen you scared and they know that you saying yes and doing this thing that you've always wanted to do, even though it's scary, you're doing it anyway, is showing them that they can. Be an example. Say yes. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect timing because that's never going to happen. Trust God, walk with God, and know everything's going to be okay. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Please share it with your friends. I hope you'll share it with your friends and family and whomever you think would enjoy it. And please know this, you are not alone. You can subscribe to my Patreon. I have a Patreon. If you go to elizabethchance.com, everything will be there. All my information. If you're looking into coaching and you feel like I need an extra help to get to that yes, reach out to me. I do coach often. And again, I will be traveling at the end of this month till mid-June. So until then, I'm kind of be off the radar. But after that, mid-June, so call me up. If you're like thinking about it and you're like, maybe I'll do it, maybe do it when I get back mid-June. See if it's something's bothering you now at the beginning. What are we on the 14th of May? So in 1 month, in 2 days, if you feel like you have something that's been bothering you and you don't know what to do, reach out to me then. That gives you a month to think about it. See if it's still bugging you, maybe reach out. Maybe. See what you think. I know this. I am so grateful for you for listening to me, for taking your time out of your busy life to listen to me. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm sending you guys all hugs and love. And if you want that one rosary, reach out to me, DM me, or email me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com. And please subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. Take care, everybody. And remember, you are not alone. Thanks for listening to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, if you could subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And follow me on all social media. And you can also get my newsletter every Friday morning into your inbox. Just go to elizabethchance.com and subscribe. Take care.